And Max is here.
It's the greatest song ever. It's the greatest song ever. God. Holy cow. It's another week. Talking to Mike. I'm your host, Medium Daddy Cool Eddie Jenkins. With the other host, the nude quarterback, Kenneth J. Popper III.
It's over. It's over. It's done. We're in week 5 and I don't care anymore.
Another year of watching football. And our other host, Wincing Wentz, Maximus Bacon. How you doing there? Are you at Galaxy's Edge? It looks like you got your man room done over again.
Can't hear you, man.
Can't hear a word he says. He's mute
here
now.
Still in a hurricane.
Anyway, he's not important. He's just floating off the side of Florida somewhere, off America's dick. We do have a very special guest. I don't know who he is. I only knows he hates this podcast. I knows it with an S. That he hates this podcast. Friend of the nude quarterback, Kenny. Why don't you give the man an intro?
So by the way, for this week, we are now known as Noggin the Mike, because here's our friend Noggin, also known as Chad, who was our number one critic for a year and a half, and now number one Hoggin.
Hello.
Nobody can outdo Marcy. You're just a liar.
My mom, you're right. Number one forever. Number one Hoggin.
I was a critic that never watched or listened. So there you go.
If you know Kenny's involved, you know it's an S show. I'll try not to get us TV M8 or whatever they do to you on YouTube. I don't really know exactly how that works, but I'm sure it's poor. Hey, Max. What's the universal sign language for my team sucks?
It's the choking thing.
You're not gonna show us the sign language? We can't hear you. So do sign language.
Max, just pantomime your thoughts the rest of this podcast.
You're going to be the sign language person.
And also,
I wish I could make your box smaller.
Yeah, Max, just do comical visual aids. Do a lot of like sign holding up and shit.
Oops. Let's go smaller. Let's see here. No, that's not good. We'll keep it like that.
I like how he's still trying to talk. Like it's working.
Yeah, he doesn't know how technology works this week. Jesus. Was that a fart noise?
That was Max's. That was his last breath.
I was like, is Kenny gonna leave during the middle of the podcast again? Is something gone horribly?
This is our new thing. Max just shows up for 5 minutes at a time.
I told my buddy about the podcast, and he looked at it. He goes, "How come one of the dudes in the bathroom?" I was like, yeah, apparently Kenny was in his bathroom before. Like I joined up when y'all were doing the pick six guy. Is that the guy from Florida?
The six slices of bacon.
I literally logged on like 2 minutes before he came on. So I missed Kenny was in the bathroom.
Now he's known for being drowning in hurricanes.
And that's fine.
Let's talk about the game. Let's just shoot
too much
for an hour and leave. I don't even want to talk about the game. What's going on in the world?
Horrible.
Like Tom Brady's getting divorced. Let's talk about that for 45 minutes.
Which is hilarious. If there's anything that I like to see, other than the Cowboys losing, or the Eagles losing, or the Giants losing, or the Patriots, it's Tom Brady in pain, just in some way.
Dude, he's not going to be in any pain. He's going to get so much poon. He's just going to call like Flutie and just
he's going to lose a lot of money, though.
He's going to need that
37.5. He's going to need that 37.5 from Rupert Murdoch.
I've already predicted there's going to be a 30 for 30 on Tom Brady about how he's literally addicted to football. That's my whole. I'm convinced he's addicted to football. He's not going home because he can't. His home is on the field.
It's like how Favre was. I mean, how many times did he retire, come back with a different team? 4 different times?
Yeah, there was Favre watch every year. Now he just, he doesn't play football. He just steals.
It was Favre.
He just steals from 4 people.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out.
But yeah, what a game! Like a game.
No, not what a game.
The thing is, that game was totally winnable to any semblance of a competent football team, but they're not competent. Their coaches aren't competent. Their quarterback is sure as hell not competent. And dear God, their defensive and offensive coordinators, both awful. The whole coaching staff.
So I want to talk about the 3 positive things to start this podcast off before we go.
So Tressway.
Well, okay, hold on. Because there's like 596 bad things to talk about, but there's 3 good things. And I actually need to give a shout out to the defense again. If it wasn't for our defense, I understand there was a drive that was miserable that they converted like 38 third downs on. But the defense, for the most part, is the only reason that was not a blowout. Again,
they kept us in there to about the third quarter
when they get tired. It happens every week.
But even them, they even shot themselves in the foot repeatedly.
Well, penalties,
penalties on plays they had interceptions
twice.
Yeah. So even that gets you a D- right there.
I won't even go that far when we give out grades to them. I think they held their own for the most part. Jamin Davis looks like he's improving a little bit week after week. Forrest had a couple big plays. I like what I saw on defense. Besides that and Tressway, I'm done talking about good things. I had 2 good things.
If he had anybody to throw the ball near him.
And Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson, baby.
He's a proven factor. The man just catches
Penn State flag, baby. Penn State, Jahan Dotson.
Penn State. You're only doing that because Kyle's watching tonight. Jahan Dotson. But then, as Redskins team commander's lore goes, the moment you get happy, the moment the happiness is taken away, Jahan Dotson looks great. Out for 2 weeks.
Oh, is that? Oh, I forgot about that.
Is he out for sure for 2 weeks?
1 to 2 weeks, hamstring. And if we know about hamstrings,
that's a
lingering injury. We watched Curtis Samuel drag his leg. Max, say something.
I'm here.
Oh, my God. Just like coming back from a hurricane 2 weeks in a row.
Who's here, though? Who's here, Max?
Making my fancy late entrance.
I was going to say the champ is here. Come on.
He's
even your favorite.
What about like
doesn't like you?
What about like Bray Wyatt? Like, we're here with the lantern.
Just like John Cena, I can't see you. So I couldn't see you before. Anyway, we were talking about Jahan Dotson and how we were happy, but he's hurt and nothing good happens with his team. And every time I smile, 7 frowns are lined up behind that.
I'm surprised you're not in the bathroom. Why are you?
Well, no, because I don't care anymore. I cared last week. I don't care anymore. I'm here.
Or there's too many pubes in the floor this week. One of the 2.
That's gross.
Oh, God.
That is NSFW.
It's either pubes or it's more hair falling off the top of his head.
That's where they all were.
Oh, man.
Now they're all gone.
I knew we were going into a recession.
Look,
but that's ridiculous.
Brad and I had flowing hair in preseason.
Y'all are crazy.
It was like that times 3.
That was last year, dude. I haven't had my hair long in like a year.
Next preseason or next season, Eddie, 2023 week 4, you're gonna look like Chad and me.
See, the thing is, I was dead before the season even started, so I'm not even kind of taking it hard at this point. I just think it's hilarious. Like
I agree. After 31 years,
I was dead.
More heart to break.
Eddie just wants to be right. He doesn't. He's like.
No,
he doesn't care.
I don't want to be right.
I was right.
Like I want to be right about a few things, and I am about Baker Mayfield sucking. He's not a good quarterback. Definitely right about that. I don't want to be right about the Redskins never going to win again. I don't think as long as Dan Snyder owns the team that they're going to ever be good. And I don't know anything that's going to stop that feeling anymore.
You need to get rid of Ron. Get rid of Ron. Get rid of Del Rio. Ron is looking around like, what's that one patient? He's like,
I saw that. That was a great gift.
And Del Rio, I don't know what Del Rio is. We don't blitz. You can't put pressure on a QB, even Cooper Rush. Like, you need to pressure. We're not doing it with 4 people. You need to throw Holcomb, rush him down. He'll blow up Ezekiel like he does every week or every year, and they tackle somebody, blitz somebody. Throw a safety blitz, throw a corner blitz somebody.
Zero
mix
blitz.
It up.
All the time.
It is rush 4, like 2-zone. Everybody is just, or man on man. It's horrible. It's horrible defense.
So I noticed something that I'm going to piggyback off Chad here because I noticed something last game that was very disturbing on defense. And I still said I give props to our defense. So we don't blitz. You're correct. And our linebackers don't do anything. In fact, I was watching our linebackers. Half the plays they would do, like run up to the line, fake the blitz, and then just sit on the line, not doing anything. And usually what Cooper Rush would do is just throw a 5-yard pass over their heads. And I was like, go in or go back.
Every time we blitz, it doesn't get home anyway. Like, the only hope we have is whenever, like, Allen or somebody just manages to bust up the middle. Like, our defensive scheme's so bad. Our offensive scheme's so bad. Like, the talent we do have on this team is misused. And then, like, Carson Wentz, Mr. Broken himself, was supposed to come in and fix all the problems. Are you kidding me? Like, we ignored the offensive line. We ignored the linebackers. Like, every warning sign they had.
They didn't address anything.
They can't sign anybody because they're paying Carson Wentz $21 million.
And nobody wants to be here.
Yeah,
I don't believe
you can't sign O-line guys.
Why would you want to be here?
We're paying him.
I understand that mindset.
It's detrimental to your career to come to Washington.
It's all about the money.
To some players. It's not all about the money to others.
I mean,
to most players, it's about money contracts,
not winners.
We just let Landon Collins go and probably sign with the Giants. Like, he was the only player on our team that flew around and like was actually getting to the quarterback, was making plays all last season. You just let him go, and now he's just sitting out there as a free agent. Going back to the Giants.
Look at the lineman they let go.
I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the statement Eddie said earlier, and then I want to go on a Ron Rivera rant.
Which statement did I say?
The first thing I want to talk about, because I like talking about this. We talked about it on text, and it's the phrase, the Washington Redskin team commanders will never be successful under Dan Snyder.
It's true, dude. I mean, it's either shit water pouring on you, or it's resold all the crap from the articles over the year about what he's done. And then he's dressing up in Dallas blue, standing next to Jerry saying,
thank you.
His wife.
Thank you.
I give it his wife.
Best friend on here.
His wife is rocking the burgundy. Love her, even though now I think she is the president or CEO or whatever it is.
And he's got frosted tips. He's got highlights.
I did like that.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
No, it's like
pull it up on your phone right now. I want your live reaction to seeing it and just noticing he has highlights. Pull it up. I'm sure if you Google or Google Dan Snyder.
Pull up the picture on here, Eddie. Put it
on here. What are we doing? We have technology.
You can share it. You all have the ability.
I don't know how to use a computer. Siri, bring up Dan Snyder's blonde frosted tips.
Here, hang on. Dan Snyder, Skeletor, Jerry.
While you're doing that, I will point out the fact that Tanya and Jason Wright had Extreme Skins pins on for that picture, though. That was cool.
That's not really frosted tips. When you say frosted tips, I'm thinking early 2000 frosted tips. I would say they're highlights. I would call them highlights. Frosted tips. I had frosted tips. I mean, what white boy didn't have frosted tips?
But back in the 90s,
yeah,
like you were like a teenager, or
Eminem came out. We were all blonde.
He's a grown ass man.
I wanted to do that, but my mom wouldn't let me. But I never did the frosted tips. Let's see here. Can we find it? Why did I?
Mom always liked my frozen tips, though.
Okay, but I want to go back on something while you find frosted tips.
Is that his new nickname? Here's a close up. Here's going to be a close up.
Good Lord.
It's going to be great.
Our audio listeners, good luck keeping your attention.
This is now a video podcast. Let's do this. Look at this.
I think that's just highlights.
Yeah, for sure.
You say frosted tips and you think NSYNC and all that, like back in
like Guy Fieri.
It's like
like Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
It's
like
now, do you think that's frosted tips because he's very red, or do you think it's just the sun has just baked him blonde?
Yeah, maybe. Like he's
He was
been
on that
yacht
living on
for
a
like
beach
7
somewhere.
He was on his yacht so much this summer.
This is a very good shot here of him.
Why does it look like he's in love with Jerry Jones in those pictures?
Because he is in love with Jerry Jones in those pictures.
I love that. I saw that. I was like, that is great.
Worst jerseys in the NFL by far.
Why do you wear that in an away game by chance? Like, don't you save that stuff for home?
Right, that was dumb. Especially
don't wear that shit during this game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
or if you do it at home.
Yeah.
Where
Which we're
some
doing.
of your fans will be there, like Kenny
hold on.
and John.
Side rant. They finally started selling the black jerseys. They're not being delivered until we're done wearing them this season. What are we doing?
Until we're done. Until we're eliminated from the playoffs.
I mean, Kenny, you ordered your jersey. I ordered my Dotson one the day after we drafted him, and it got here on August 9th.
Yep.
It only took 7 months. You are paying these people money. You're crazy.
Because it's Dotson. I'm a Penn State fan, and last time I think we drafted Penn State first round was LeVar Arrington.
Yeah, LeVar.
Maybe we have Shaka Tony, which they won't play him. But
I'll say fair to that. Like when they drafted Heath Schuler, I'm a Tennessee Volunteers guy. That's my school.
Same.
I was the biggest Heath Schuler fan. I bought so much Heath Schuler Redskins shit.
That was my first Redskins jersey.
Yeah, I had all of them.
That was mine, the Moss one. But not, I had a Kerrigan one. So like I bought a Chase Young shirt last year because I was like, I'm not dropping $150 on a jersey. I'll spend $40 on the T-shirt.
Anyone that drops $100 on a jersey is an idiot.
Kerrigan's a good jersey to have. Like
anyone,
he's forever going to be a that's you. Kerrigan will forever be in the Ring of Fame. So that's a good one to have.
My dad picked up a Replethenic, like not the sewn-on ones, like the ones you buy, Kenny. Kerrigan Redskins jersey for $5.50.
That's how much half my jerseys in my closet should have been worth.
My dad still wears his London Fletcher jersey.
That's for real. He was at the game too. But I do want to talk about something in this picture. The enabler. The reason Dan Snyder is still the owner of this team, one of the reasons at least, Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
that's why he's looking at him that way. That's why he's looking at him that way.
They have hit the hooker scene together, and they probably got so much dirt on each other that it's like
they got plenty of massages down in Miami, just like old Robert Kraft.
They've got plenty of phone calls of them saying words they shouldn't say.
Emails. Oh,
Probably.
dude, imagine writing their
email.
So you know what's funny about the whole ordeal? Like, okay, we win week 1, right? Jacksonville, we're on our high horse. But Jacksonville, to be fair, has looked pretty good this year. Like they had Philly down 14-0. That's way better than we ever had. So here we are on our high horse. Now here we are in week 4 talking about how much of a trash franchise this is after we just lost horribly 3 games straight, 2 to division rivals. That's why I love the NFL. It's sad.
Every week's different. And when we win the next week by 86 points, it'll be a happy cast again talking about the Super Bowl because that's what Commanders fans do.
There's always this weird nugget of like hope that comes tumbling out of Kenny in the darkest of times that makes zero sense.
Dude, exactly.
There was.
We win. You look at your phone and it's Super Bowl. And I'm like, shut up.
He's the worst.
Week 1, I loved it. Week 1 was a great time.
We haven't even addressed what I wanted to address. The phrase, we're never going to be good as long as Dan Snyder's our owner. I want to address that because that's false.
No. Let me ask you this question. Here's the basis of truth. I live in the reality, the really real world. Things are palpable. They're touchable.
Look behind you and tell me that's the real world.
That is. I can touch those. I'm ruining the planet with all this plastic. So, has this team ever been good? Like actually good? They didn't just get in a late season run somehow and tumble into the playoffs since Dan Snyder's owned the team.
The answer is
just answer that question.
What about the Brad Johnson when he took us to the playoffs in 1 year before he left?
No, we're not doing that 1 year. That 1 year.
I'm sorry, dude. It was so long ago, and that's the only one. And then you're not
Dan had
counting
just
the
taken over the
RG3 year.
team. He hadn't completely just like put his dick in it at that point, you know, like he was just teasing it.
We have not been a good team since Dan Snyder's taken over, but we were not a good team for 7 to 8 years before Dan Snyder took over. We probably won't be a good team for 7 to 8 years point past this conversation right now. I think that conversation holds as much weight as when people, because I feel like that's a very, like, I'm just going to, don't take left and right as left and right, but that's a very, like, leftist, extremist sentence. Stop it. I have the floor. I'm holding the chapstick. Nope, I have the chapstick. On the right side of that was the same phrase I used to hear, which was the Washington Redskins will never be good until they change the name. And a lot of people that used to say that, I put that down. I have the chapstick.
I have never heard that.
I have so many friends that used to say that, friends that don't like the actual Redskins. They were always like, "No, that team's going to be garbage until they change the name." And I used to, and the phrase, the follow-up, which half of them would say is, "I would totally root for them once they change the name." And I said,
and they didn't.
Well, they didn't. And I also said, well, when they do change the name, have fun rooting for a trash franchise for the next 50 years because it's not fun.
Has this type of ownership happened to any other team?
Yes.
In the history of sport?
Yes.
Has it?
Yes.
I gotta ask you a question.
Me an example.
Literally.
Shot Cincinnati Reds.
Not this bad.
You don't know that.
Your friends that promised you that they were going to, root for the team once they changed the name. That was like whenever they said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump off the high dive at the pool," and they get up to the top and they look down and there's like 8 giant turds there. They're not gonna jump down into that. They're gonna climb right back down that ladder.
That was my point.
Marge Schott won a World Series 5 years into her ownership.
And she was still considered one of the worst owners of all time.
You're wrong. They swept the A's. They won the World Series. That's never going to happen here.
Okay, so here's my thing. Dan Snyder, I will admit, what the reality is he has had an effect on the franchise, and he will continue to have an effect on the franchise. Does that mean we'll never be good under him? No. Does that mean it'll take a lot more steps to get there? Yes. I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible we become a good team for a long time under Dan Snyder. It has not happened yet. There's right now in 2022, our tunnel vision goes into a mountain. There is no tunnel because look at shit.
Kenny, I've only known this person for a few years. I've only known Kenny since 2008. Please, somebody.
Kenny is the biggest fanboy. I mean, that is the biggest Kool-Aid drinking McComber. I don't think we're going to be good. No, he is so toxic. And you read the reports when we drafted Haskins, we weren't going to take him until Snyder busted in there. It's like, we're taking him. And after the scout found out, and he goes, "Did y'all not read my reports?" Like, Dan walked in and wanted him.
Right.
I mean, dude, he is horrible. He doesn't know football. At least give it to Jerry. Jerry knows football because he played it. Dan Snyder,
at one point he did.
Whatever, sold cable or where the hell he got his money from.
Built roller coasters or something.
It was. I think it was cell phone service, and he bought the damn amusement park, whatever that was. But he doesn't know football, and then he brings in these people that are yes men.
You've known some shitty people in your life, right, Kenny?
I've known some shitty people.
You you know some shitty people, right?
Sure.
At any point, did they ever stop being shitty?
No.
Everyone can change.
Will
Everyone
they though?
It takes time and it takes growth.
I mean, you can. I think good people can go through hard times and do stupid stuff. I think most people have done that. But when you look at failure from literally every imaginable angle, in every facet of the business and in football, this guy is a failure. He's
no, so
awful. There's nobody worse than him.
I will agree that the organization probably doesn't get better under Dan Snyder. That one I think is more set in stone because he has more directional influence on the organization. Now, the organization does influence the football team, but the football team and the organization are two different things. If you can hire the right coaches, which, yes, you can say Dan Snyder hires the wrong coaches, Dan Snyder hires the wrong GMs, there is a way that this works out at some point. It's not always going to be Dan Snyder is the owner. Everything else under Dan Snyder is complete and utter diarrhea. There is going to be a trickle-down effect. It doesn't mean the whole operation is shit. I think it's crazy to say it's guaranteed we'll never be good under an owner. I think it says we'll have to work a little harder with Dan Snyder being our owner. But I mean, it's just I don't think it's set in stone.
I mean, you're right though. Like I agree with you only because like rich people, rich people, they have some tolerance for blowing money. But like at a certain point, whenever they see their investments like going straight downhill, they make a change. They just got to make the right change.
He's not going to lose any money.
Dan makes
NFL
nothing but money.
He's not going to lose a fucking dime.
You have fans like Kenny that will buy 8 jerseys a year.
Yeah,
Washington Post still buy
Washington
season
Post famous now, Kenny Alvo.
But now we're actually seeing fans aren't showing up to the games. It's all
worst
how many Eagles
in the league?
How many Eagles fans were there, Kenny? What
about
most
of them? 40, too many.
Half of West Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I'm not trying to defend anything that's happening right now. Right now, we are the drizzling shits. Our organization is drizzling shits. The football team. Okay, so I'm about to go into my rant in a second because the football team is the drizzling shits.
You're not already?
this is my preamble to the Constitution. So
you better have a poem. I swear to God.
I do have a poem, and that one's about Carson Wentz. So I want to go. My rant's about Ron Rivera. My poem's about Carson Wentz. I have a lot of things to get off my chest. This is going to be a 4.5-hour podcast. I hope everyone can stay up till 2 a.m.
I get up at 5.
Aaron's like, I'm about to log off here.
I'll be talking to myself. I'll do the podcast.
All right, Kenny.
Podcast by myself.
On your mark, get set, go. You got 3 minutes.
What, to do my rant?
Yeah, go.
Go.
Okay. To Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera made some pretty asinine remarks, I thought, a couple days ago about, and this goes kind of full circle where I said, I'm not defending anything right now. Right now, we are the worst organization in sports, probably bottom 10 franchises, like playing wise. So by the way, this is not my speech starts as soon as I'm done with my pre-speech. And then my pre-speech goes to my speech, and then my speech goes to a post-speech, and then we all conclude.
Hurry up, Kenny.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so Ron Rivera said some pretty asinine things the other day. Put that away. I have the chapstick. Also add 30 seconds every time you distract me with a phone.
Can you just mute him?
Not the same room. Okay, so listen. Ron Rivera says, hey, guys, why is everyone complaining? Well, I said this would be a long process. Have some patience. And as a fan, this is how tone deaf that statement was. I cannot stand when coaches come to teams. This has happened with teams in the past other than the Washington Commanders. When coaches come in and they act like they have no idea what they're doing, and it shows where they're very inept. Well, right now, this is year 3 of Ron Rivera. We are 1-3, and we look the worst we've looked under Ron Rivera. How dare you tell a fan base to be patient? You have been here for 2.5 years. You have come here in year 1. We made the playoffs. Not that we were a great team. We made the playoffs. Ron Rivera, there is a fan base that is being driven away from this team that has been sitting here for 31 years, year after year, taking not your bullshit, taking this team's bullshit, watching this franchise go from one of the best franchises of all time to the absolute worst franchise in professional sports. Do not talk down to me as a fan and tell me that I need patience because I have been having patience for 31 years. What does patience mean? It's been 2.5 years with you. How much more do you want me to wait? Because by the time you think this team's going to be good, It's going to be 2,000. I get 5 minutes. 2,037. I don't.
Kenny, let me butt in on that because I'm agreeing with you for once. Is that when you get 3 years in the NFL? Everybody knows that you get 3 years. The first year you show up, it's going to be a shit show. Everybody knows that because you're going to use you. Year 2, you start to get a little better because the system that is in place. Maybe you get a couple good free agents to come in and start beefing up everybody. Then year 3 is supposed when you light it on fire or it is a shit show. It is a dumpster fire. And it is a dumpster fire. And he goes, be patient. Fuck you.
Right, fuck you.
Hey. You gotta see progress.
There's no progress.
No,
you gotta see progress. But like we saw progress, like going 7-10 on the world's hardest schedule with Taylor Heineke. But then like this year, it's got to continue on, and we're sitting here at 1-3. Like nobody has hope that we're going to beat the Titans this week. And breaking news: the Braves just won the NL East.
Okay, and that's been Hoggin the mic. Everybody have a good night.
Muted.
Taylor Heineke, and then with Carson Wentz, there was like you get a better QB, and like I was actually hopeful. I was like, better quarterback. Samuel's coming back. McLaurin is disgusting, and then with Dotson, I was like, that takes the heat off McLaurin, and we just start going down, and you see these little highlights of Gibson and McKissick just bursting through, and I was just like, all right, let's go, and it's just like you guys are calling plays like the same 4 plays off a Techno Bowl. I mean, do something or light a fire underneath the offensive line. Like, how can you not block? I mean, it is disgusting. Do a zone blocking, whatever Shanahan did. Do something, change it. We're not going to make any changes. You better fucking do something.
It looks like we're an uncoached team. It looks like the ship is not sinking anymore. It's sunk. And that's when I say, I'll conclude with my 30 seconds. Ron Rivera is asking me to have patience on a ship that is not sinking anymore. It's sunk. I do not have patience for the 30th ship that I've been on that is sunk in the water. I'm going to just hold that up there because I'm going to finish perfectly at 3 minutes. We, as a
First
fan
time
base,
you ever said that.
Okay, everyone calm down. We as a fan base, we can't do this anymore. We can't have a coach taking steps backwards like Chad was saying. We're taking steps backwards. We need to go forwards. The only way to go forwards is to fire Ron Rivera.
So, Kenny, you think it just sank?
No, well, so every
or is this
regime,
a new boat? Did no
every regime's a new boat.
Yeah, like I say, you get the 3 years.
Right.
But it was made of,
now
but
you're
it was made of,
supposed
like,
to start
balsa
setting
wood or
sail
right?
and taking over and everything, and it's somebody shit the bed, and there's water coming. Like we hit the iceberg, and Titanic's coming down, and it's just like, well, be patient. I'm just like, no, dude, this is year 3. You should know your shit by now.
Right.
And
so the whole like sinking ship metaphor, I'm in the water drowning with Ron Rivera, and he's like, hey man, like just give us time. It's like we've already drowned, and if you look around us, there's 30 more ships that I've been on that are all around us. So what kind of patience do you want me to have?
There's no patience there. He doesn't know. I think it was a mistake giving Ron so much power from the beginning. I think there actually needs to be definitive roles in an organization for the organization to actually be good.
What is he actually in charge of? Like, does he have the Shanahan thing to where like he controls everything?
Yeah.
But they also gave
plus he named this team this stupid name. So
I was going to say, quick question before we switch to Titans discussion. If you give control to another guy and this new guy comes in, just absolutely hates the Commanders, hates the uniforms, hates everything, do you see a name change coming in the next 5 to 10 years? No.
I bet you could get it if somebody that was a new owner came in. I could see.
No, I agree to that.
Totally see like Bezos coming in and doing something crazy. Which you know,
the Primes,
the Washington Primes, baby.
The Washington Primes, baby.
Washington overnights.
He might actually be smart enough just to call them the Red Wolves, but maybe not. Who knows? So just quick grades here, Kenny. Quick grades. Don't need to add why. What do you give the offense, defense, Carson Wentz?
Okay, offense. NA, 0. F minus, 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 minus.
Fair.
Carson Wentz gets the. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. Our run game that we abandoned Nope, you know how I am. Put the timer back up. 3 minutes.
No, we don't have that much time. We've only got a few minutes left.
I'm saying F minus for the offense, a 0 for Carson Wentz, a B minus for our defense, and an A for our special teams.
Dressway got
Joey Fly attempted and made the first field goal of the season.
Joey Fly's never missed a field goal this year.
All right, Heine Lover, how are you feeling about it? Give me your grade. Just rattle them off.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Kenny with the Wentz grade being an absolute failure. I don't think you can say anything good about Wentz. The run game looked good, so the offense gets a F plus, and I would say for the defense, probably they actually looked pretty good, and the refs were working against us. So I would say a B, and special teams was unremarkable, so A.
Sweet. Noggin. What do you got?
Same thing with Kenny. Offense was horrible. Running game looked great, which I don't know why they run the ball once and then they start passing it. Carson Wentz is trash. Defense, I'd say about a B minus, even though I'll say B minus because like we were discussing, interception penalty. And that's the only thing. Yeah, the ref, I hate those refs. How is that not running into the kicker? He drilled the damn kicker.
Yeah, but there was multiple just bad zebra calls. Just bad.
Yeah, Tressway is a Pro Bowl again.
I'm giving them Fs all the way around. Defense gets a D minus.
Okay?
Give me a second. Other than the defense, they're going to get D minus, and special team's going to get an A. Tressway. How I love you. You're the best player on the team, not named Terry McLaurin. Where in God's name did he go? Did he go take another poop?
Probably.
Is that why he was in the bathroom last week?
No, he does that when he gets really depressed. But he also takes poops periodically when he has to. So really,
be able to air my grievances.
I'm not airing your grievances. I'm just airing out your bathroom. So really, as depressed as I am, there's only one thing that you can really just put me back in touch with my better self. That's another poem.
Whoa. I have a preamble to my poem.
With the Marcus Hazelnut.
You know it's coming.
Now
I don't know why you just trollop over it every week. Come on.
I want to say something about Carson Wentz before my poem.
Go ahead, say it. Spit
Put
it.
3
You
minutes
got
on
2
the clock.
seconds.
Okay, so the thing that's very disturbing, this is like an actual thought.
We're going to talk about this later. You know this, right?
I want to talk about it now. I got a poem about
We're
it.
going to talk about it during the Titans game. We got another person waiting on us. So
all right, fine. Let me put on my Carson Wentz outfit.
Please let it be a trash can. There you go.
This is
okay.
fair.
I'm ready to do a Carson Wentz poem.
All right. Hang on here. Let me get it ready. Is it this one? There we go.
I hate this music. I feel like I'm supposed to like R&B this into sing this like very sexy.
It's pretty good.
R&B it into it. Could you sound more white, Kenny?
No, I can actually, and I'm about to now. Okay,
go.
This is called an ode to Carson Wentz. Well, this is the ballad of Carson Wentz. Okay, I'm scared. What do I do? Do you hear that? Well, I do too. Wait, hold on. What was that noise? I will be brave. I'll keep my poise. Oh no. I'm scared again. It's no longer if. It's now just when. A sudden movement, a gust of air. Is this the end? This isn't fair. The end is near. I feel it now. I now know when. I now know how. I regret everything. I take it back. I never asked for this 10-man sack.
Beautiful.
This is Kenny at DC9 on the weekends. Kenny, that was great. That was great.
I'm making my new Commanders jersey.
At least you're not nude.
At least you'll get that before the end of
You don't know
November.
what's under here.
Jamie t-shirt.
Oh man, you know what it's time for now? A little cross promotion. That's what we're here for. We like to cross promote. We like to do things. Make sure everybody's paid.
Want some
Wait, you
wrestling
guys get
excitement? We'll snap into an episode of the Blue Bar Cage, yeah. Retro pay-per-view breakdowns, body slamming action, and all sorts of other shenanigans. So get on your Google machine and head on over to bluebarcage.com. Yeah, find us in iTunes or on your favorite podcasting app. Dig it!
Max Bacon's 6 sizzling keys to victory.
We're just sound effects now. That's all this podcast is. Listen to our funny sound effects.
That's what
Hey,
podcast
it
is, dude.
You
mean,
know,
It's
Do you not
in
listen
the
to
mic in
any-
the
Dickie
morning.
Fargo.
Wah, 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 wah. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
anyway, we got another special guest. We're loading the screen up with a bunch of white men. I'll let Max give him a intro here, and spell his name out. You know, give everybody a Polish lesson.
Oh wow, you're gonna put me on the spot of spelling a really hard
If you don't
last
know
name.
how to spell,
But I
his
can do
name
it.
by now.
I can do it.
Good Lord.
It is Aaron Modzelewski. My good friend Aaron Modzelewski. Bring him on, or come on down, as they say. There he is.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
He's got
That is an awful T-shirt.
Oh,
I actually really
No,
I love
get
it.
off. Get him off. Canceled.
congrats to the 2022 NL East champions.
That's
This is the only
right.
reason Max brought you on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just some cross promotion for the Braves.
Hey, I just got to say, listening to you guys talk about how bad the Commanders organization is makes me feel so good. I was there not that long ago, and it can be turned around. But I do have to say, we switched owners, we switched GMs, we got a new head coach. It's going to take some changing the top of the organization to make.
Listen to this guy, Kenny.
They also have Derrick
I can
Henry.
act like
He's our
you.
owner.
They also got Derrick Henry, who
Yeah, but who
just
do you think
stiff arms everybody in the way.
Who do you think drafted Derrick Henry in the second round? Our new GM.
That's
But
true.
I do
Second
wanna
round,
say
that's pretty
something.
impressive.
They've changed a lot there in Tennessee, and I think it's well documented, at least here, how much I think that the Washington uniforms are absolute canned ass. They're awful. They're the worst jerseys in the league by far. But my God, those Tennessee Titans jerseys. Oof.
I'm not going to argue that.
They're close. They're close.
Not going to argue that.
They need to overhaul that shit. They need something more simplistic. You got nice colors.
So you're saying that this is going to be like the battle of the ugly jerseys?
It's gonna be an eyesore on Sunday.
Well, my question to you would be: the Titans were on the verge of a Super Bowl not too long ago. Do you think that was the peak, or do you think, and you're on your way down, or do you think you're still at that level and possibly could get to the Super Bowl again?
We're definitely not at that level. I will say Mike Vrabel has his teams prepared every week, and that's just what the Tennessee Titans are now. It doesn't matter the talent that's on the roster. He's going to have them ready no matter who they're playing. They kind of live and die by their game plan. So you'll be able to tell pretty quickly how this game's going to go. We're not a Super Bowl contender anymore, though. We don't have that same talent on the roster. Our wide receiver core is depleted. We're already leading the league again, just like last year, and putting players on IR. It's going to be a tough year just to make the playoffs. Luckily, we're in the AFC South, so.
Well, the only
You got that going for you.
The only sour thing I have to say about all that is that you all gave the freaking Eagles A.J. Brown, and I'm not happy about it.
I don't think you'll find a Titans fan who is happy about that.
Makes no sense.
Well, Max, you have some sizzling keys, and let's see if Aaron agrees with them.
All right. So typically I gear my first 3 towards what the Commanders need to do, and then I gear my last 3 towards more specific to the opponent. So I'm going to give 3 Commander-specific ones, and then I would like Aaron to give 3 ways that we'll be able to capitalize against the Titans based on what we need to do, who we need to bottle up.
Tell us your secrets.
Tell us your secrets. Exactly.
I'm going to call Ron Rivera right now just so he can hang up on me and order a pizza instead, because that's what we do pregame.
He's actually watching right now, just so you know. All right. So number one, the thing that's killed us the last 2 weeks is that we need to protect Carson Wentz or Heineke, whoever we decide to start this week, probably Wentz. But we've got to protect him. Like if he's under pressure the entire game, it's going to be ugly.
He's got to protect himself too. He steps into pressure and it's just a lumbering, clumsy ginger bad word that I'm not going to say right now. He is
throw it away.
Awful. Like, yeah, throw the ball away. Think a little bit, you idiot.
Oh, Max, I got to say, whenever that trade first happened, I did send you a message about Carson Wentz. He's not good. He's not good.
He's not good.
He was decent. He was decent for the Colts. Like, he was decent year 1 in Philly, and then he was decent for the Colts, like 27-7. But he had like some really awful games. But he had a lot of good games. We've only seen 1 good game from Carson and 3 bad ones so far. So maybe we'll get a good one this week.
The Colts have an awful owner, but they're a pretty well-run organization, and I think they hid a lot of his flaws. He led the league in underthrown passes and getting that DPI. That's not going to work for him every year.
True. It's a good point.
Preach.
So I will say, you guys are the Titans' pass rush is struggling this year. Harold Landry, of course, tore his ACL before the season. We didn't have a lot of depth there. Bud Dupree can't stay healthy. Jeffrey Simmons is double teamed every single game. We'll get a sack here or there by some practice squad guy, but our pass rush isn't something to fear right now.
Our O-line is trash.
I was going to say, have you seen our offensive line?
It's depleted, and we lost another starter with Cosme having surgery.
Well, that's one thing we got in common then. Titans O-line.
It looks like our offensive line looks like Charlie Brown's ghost costume with all the holes in it. Basically it.
It'll be a sack fest this week then.
Looks like my pants after the Braves just won the East.
Again. No one needed that. Moving along.
Cares. Nobody wants to hear about the Atlanta baseball team.
All right, so we can really hide. This is number 2. We can really hide the Wentz deficiencies if we just continue to run the ball. Every week we ran the ball well. Like, for some reason, we get away from it. Run on first down, run on second down, and even run on third down. If it's working and you're getting 5 yards a carry, don't go backwards. That's all they've been doing lately.
Is Robinson coming back this week, you think?
In all likelihood, I think he's ready.
And then
I don't think he'll be inactive, but he's definitely close.
Yeah, I mean, I will say defensively, our run defense has struggled. We bottled up Jonathan Taylor, but that was clearly our game plan. We gave 300-plus yards to Matt Ryan. Not that any of your backs are anything close to Saquon Barkley, but he made us look foolish week 1.
That's offensive. Have you seen Antonio Gibson? He averages 28 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, if I would just – you guys stick to your run game. I think you're going to be all right in this one.
So that's the problem. I'm going to throw a slice of bacon at all of you. Our biggest problem is having a good run game for a quarter and a half, and then Ron Rivera being like, oh, wait, I can't coach. And then we say, hey, Carson Wentz, get sacked 8 times. And then we lose by 26.
You think that's all Ron, or do you think that's old son of Norvis?
It's both of them. They probably like 69ing on the sidelines, and then just bad things happen, and then we lose a game.
But it's not even like a halftime adjustment. It's like we run on first down, we get 7 yards, and then we go pass, or pass, with a sack in there.
And don't forget,
and then we get the ball back and we run 7 to 8 yards, or maybe we get a 12-yarder and then we go pass, and then we punt the ball.
Or it's a wide receiver end around for a loss of 1,000.
One of my favorite Scott Turner specials is 2nd and 12, draw for 1.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get a good chunk of yards on them, 2nd and long. We'll run up the middle for 2.
It's
like,
awful.
I think there's a secret strategy. Like, what they're trying to do is they're just trying to put Tress Way on display as much as possible to make sure he gets to the Pro Bowl this year.
I mean, you know what? Not a bad strategy.
Is this is the last Pro Bowl too, right?
No, there's no more Pro Bowls.
No, there's no more Pro Bowls.
Yeah, but they'll still vote.
Are they on a team? Like, are they on a Pro Bowl team-ish?
Yeah, it's like an All-American roster in college, I guess. Like
aren't they doing
like the all Madden team?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I think they're doing like some games.
They should do
Tress Way's gonna be part of a punt competition skill challenge.
Yeah, it should be like NBA All-Star Weekend, but like maybe flag football. They don't have to hit each other. Like,
that's what they're doing. They're playing flag football.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
they were already doing that anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's going to be funny is they're going to everybody's going to tear their ACL. It's going to be like
yes.
It's like nope, no contact, but everybody's going to break their ankle.
In 2024, they're actually just going to sit and play Madden for 3 hours while we watch them on TV.
That's why the Redskins always had people in the Pro Bowl. Is because everybody was I'm not playing in that and risking getting an injury. And so then we would take like 7 people.
Every week. They were used to that every week at FedEx on the sand painted field where ACLs go to die.
Only on one half.
Max, give us some more bacon. We're so tangenty tonight.
All right. So number 3 is I want to see a good defensive scheme that involves us mixing up a good mixture of pass rush and dropping back into coverage. I just feel like we're so predictable that when we're going to blitz or when we're going to drop back to pass. Like, he's got to mix it up because the offense has just been shredding us to pieces minus this week because Dallas' offense had a backup quarterback. That's all there is to it.
Chase Young is coming back this week, ain't he?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Also questionable.
With that one rush move he has.
It's like a Rakpo. He just knows how to bull rush. That's about it.
Yep. Watch some friggin' Reggie White tape already. Good God.
So Aaron's about to go run on the treadmill there for the next 3 pieces of bacon.
I'm in my temporary housing right now, so.
So is Tom Brady.
Give us 3 keys as to how that are more Titan specific as to how we can beat you guys.
How the Redskins can beat us?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Okay, so I'll say number 1, don't give up after the first half. We've been one of the best teams in football in the first half because we come out very scripted. We're explosive. We do offensive or outside zone runs.
Perfect.
Yeah, have you not seen our first half scores? Like, we're 63-7 in the first half right now.
Well, I need to look at the number, but I'm pretty sure the Titans have given up 120 something points in the second half and only scored 6. So we are getting killed in the second half, and we can't make adjustments. So
you're saying bet on the Titans in the first half and bet on the Commanders in the second half.
I'm just saying, if we're up 21-0 in the first half, don't worry yet.
I was going to say, so what you're saying is we'll be down by 74 at halftime and only lose by 21. That I'm okay with.
Close enough. Let's see. So the second part is a lot, like you were saying, Max, if you guys have a decent pass rusher too, we have one of the lightest offensive linemen at our left guard. Left guard. He's like 290 pounds. He's good, but he just gets overpowered by somebody who's bigger than him. And if that's where you guys focus your rush, you'll get to Tannehill every time.
Could be a good mismatch.
Barbecue.
Could be a good mismatch with Payne or Allen there in the middle. But
they're in the center. Who's on the left?
I think they kind of. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Because they're like in the center. Who's on our edge? Who's our edge rushers?
Sweat's usually on the right,
And then Chase Young's backup is on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're without Taylor Lewan too. We've got the Panthers' old backup in there at left tackle, and I mean he's done all right, but
Ron Rivera is so jealous right now.
Oh man. And then the third one is we really only have 2 competent defensive backs and a rookie, Roger McCreary, and then Christian Fulton. Outside of that, we've got Caleb Farley and Terrence Mitchell, and they're going to give up at least 1 or 2 big passes every game. They just can't stay with the receivers. They struggle.
So scary Terry time.
So if they get picked on, it's going to be a bad day.
I'd like to see Terry McLaurin take advantage. They just haven't done what they should do with Terry so far this year.
Yeah, we don't have our defensive backs shadow the good receivers. They're just supposed to play their role. And if you guys move your receivers around, you can take advantage of some mismatches.
I was going to say, we don't have our quarterback shadow our good receivers. So no worries there.
I mean, honestly, like if you give up the big play, all they really are going to have to do is just put pressure on Wentz because their line's not been able to block anybody. Sadly. Eddie, where'd you go, buddy?
I just had to go say a prayer for the football team. It is that hour. That's what we do at 10:16, right?
So I missed part of last week because I was right in the middle of a hurricane and all.
Nothing big.
We watched you die in the middle of this podcast. It was amazing.
That was actually funny when you just dropped out and Kenny goes, "He's dead."
Gust of wind. Max is gone. He was blown away.
I've been I watched the first 15 minutes. I meant to watch the rest before we came on. But did you
get some of those white those DeSantis boots? Did you get some of those? Is that what you've been walking around in?
Me and Ramona were just talking about getting some waders, so I guess I'll have to get some white ones now. They'll go good with my my matching World Series champion shirt from last year.
Oh God! Nobody wants to talk about the Atlanta baseball team. Nobody does.
So, did everybody pick Dallas to win last week?
Yeah. Everybody picked Dallas to win last week.
Did you get my prediction in there? I did text it to you. Hopefully,
I think I wrote
it. What's our record, Zach? Because we got to do predictions.
This is honestly, it's written in my work notebook. So there's like,
I think I'm 3-1, and you guys are 2-2, if I'm not mistaken. I think we all messed up and picked us against the Lions, and you all both picked us to lose to Jacksonville, but pretty sure we all picked us to lose to the Eagles and Cowboys, correct?
Sorry, I'm trying to read our picks between my leftist propaganda and all the
Eddie,
other stuff
you
I'm
can
doing
write
here.
things in different pieces of paper. You don't have to use the same piece of paper for everything or book.
My work, we're trying to conserve here, trying to make the world better, Kenny. I know that you like to just leave your waste everywhere and destroy this world, but I'm trying to save it.
I ripped up a plastic bag tonight just to make a point about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and I bet you won't even recycle it. You're awful.
I'm just
That's going to be here longer than you. You want to talk about microplastics?
Eddie's using the 3 seashells for toilet paper.
Do you know how to use those?
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
One of the greatest movies of all time. We should have talked about that last week because Pez actually has a Demolition Man pinball machine in his Redskins room, and it's badass. Anyway, let's see here. Max is
3-1.
Yeah, let's see. 3-1. Kenny is
1-3.
2-2.
I'm 2-2.
Kenny should probably have the same record as the Redskins.
I'm 2-2. I'm 2-2, and our first special guest host last week got it right. Pez
so 1-0 for guest hosts.
He's 50 yards offense, negative 500 yards of defense. Commander's about 50.
Skins. Actually, never mind. Guest host sucks.
No, he didn't.
Love you. Are you sure?
No, he picked
Dallas. I remember being shocked out of my bootstraps that Pez would pick against us. Maybe he did.
I can't. There's a lot of
I
stuff
don't know.
happening
Yeah.
here.
What do your scientific notes say?
Looks like he just did some Einstein jotting
Those are,
down.
by the way, those are just doodles of Macho Man in there. There's nothing actually written in work. It's just doodles of naked Macho Man with numbers written around. He's gonna go get a fucking Macho Man right now.
All right.
I just got this yesterday. Look at it. Oh yeah. Anyway,
that's the guy that does your commercial.
That's actually Justin. He's pretty good at that.
You know all those action figures. I'm having to drink out of paper straws every restaurant I go to because they have to keep your collection going.
Yeah. Gotta use.
At least my jerseys are biodegradable.
I'm surprised they haven't already.
All right, let's hear it. So I guess I get the first pick this week once again since I'm still in the lead.
Please give us your grade. Somebody write it down.
Grade.
You write it down in your notebook of naked Macho Mans.
Okay. So here we go. Vegas.
Translate on this.
Vegas currently has the Titans as a road favorite of 2.5 points. The over/under is 42.5. And I'm going to
know what that means.
I am going to do something crazy. Commanders 23, Titans 21.
Well, you're out of the lead.
All right. Go ahead there, Mr. Paltrow.
Oh, God. It's going to take forever. Go ahead.
The Washington Commanders.
There it is.
They went to Dallas, their division rivals, and they wore their traditional, very black jerseys for some reason. They didn't do a thing for an entire game and lost. Again, looking worse than the week before. This week, they host the Tennessee Titans, who look like a good, but maybe pretty average team at FedEx Field. Saying that, the Washington Commanders lose this game 13-37.
Jeez. It's a massacre.
As long as Carson Wentz starts, I do not pick them to win from this point forward.
He knows the Titans fairly well, though.
Yeah, he loses to them a lot.
That's the truth.
So we're going to go ahead and pass to our first guest over here. Home field advantage, Mr. Noggin.
So I'm going to say 31-13 Titans, and I'm going to call it Derrick Henry goes for like 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. He is going to completely destroy our defense. Even though we've had pretty good with the run defense, they're going to keep on pounding the ball and just wear those guys down, especially in the second half, and he's going to go balls to the wall.
It's the only way to take your balls. Jesus, I just don't disagree with you. You and Kenny like you're like a more realistic Kenny, but your predictions are very similar.
Even though I think he called Dallas like 47-13, and it wasn't.
I did, and if it wasn't for our defense, that's what it would have been.
Yeah, it was 47-14.
I was guessing. I knew it was something like that.
I saw that together, so I'm guessing it was for that game. How about you, Mr. Modzelewski?
I'm gonna go 23-20. Redskins are gonna have the ball with the last chance, and Mr. Wentz is gonna throw a pick to end it.
24-20.
Kirk Cousins.
23-20 Titans.
What a homer.
That is the way Commanders play football. That is the way Washington plays football. Is that?
That's assuming we're going to be up in that game, or a chance to be up in that game.
That reminds me of like Kirk Cousins more than Carson Wentz.
That's what I'm saying. That's a Kirk Cousins game.
All right. Now that Eddie's gathered all of his information and done his calculations on his TI 89 over there, what's your
83? Thank you very much. Jesus.
What are you picking?
I know my calculus. Washington 16, because they like weird numbers, and Ron's a fucking moron. And the Titans, I'm gonna split the difference here, 34.
God.
Because I don't disagree. I think we're being reasonable humans here. Our team is complete and utter trash. The definition of drizzling shits in the NFL. That is the Washington sports franchise.
You know why we're going to win?
Why's that?
Because we're getting an infusion of Brian Robinson back in the locker room. It's gonna have us hyped up, and they're gonna win it for Robinson.
75% chance.
G-Unit.
75% chance that Brian Robinson tears his ACL on the first carry he has in his comeback, because that's what the Commanders do.
Fair enough. I'll be the lone rider. I have the lead. I'm playing with house money right now. So,
Eric, Kenny, you'll find this funny. I will let you guess who actually drafted Brian Robinson in our fantasy league.
I'm assuming you,
John.
Oh, good.
Is he that big of a homer too?
Yeah. Even though I did pick up Dotson in every team that I'm on this year. It was like one of my last picks.
Terry McLaurin.
I have him on one team.
Well, no, I picked up Paulson off the waiver wire, and he's trash. I think I just cut him today.
No, I think John for his last pick picked up Brian. Picked up Robinson.
Jesus. Look at
My
this.
kicker is not just a field goal all season.
Is this the first matchup of Tennessee and Washington since was it 2011?
No.
No, I think
4 years.
We played them
okay.
since.
I was about to say, I know went to one of those. That one we went to is Clinton Portis's actually last snap as a player in the NFL. Rip.
Was that game?
Yep, at that game. That was his last snap.
Before he went broke and then got in trouble running a pyramid scheme.
I'm sure we'll find out Dan Snyder was part of that too before it's all over with. Anyway, we got any last thoughts here?
I haven't got my Carson Wentz rant yet.
No, we don't want to hear another fucking rant, Kenny. Jesus.
It's concerning. It's short.
You got 60 seconds starting.
Hold on. Let me throw out a statistic. The series between the Washington football team, Commanders, Redskins, and the Tennessee Titans is currently tied 6-6.
That's never good for us.
You said that the season series? I disagree with that.
You just looked it up.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with statistics.
I saw it was 7-6 Titans.
Something bigly.
You're
right. You ready for your 1 minute? You ready for your
I'm ready for my minute. I'm ready for my minute.
Max, hush it for a second. We are going and now.
Okay, so I'm concerned about Carson Wentz by Kenny Alvo. So the thing that's concerning about Carson Wentz to me after 4 weeks, the dude is now playing scared like all of our other quarterbacks in the past. You notice that the last game, and here's my concern, is that there's 2 plays that Carson Wentz ran as a passer. It was either backpedal at 100 miles per hour and throw off your back foot, whether it was warranted or not, and then get either sacked or get intentional grounding. Or, and here's my more concerning thing, when he actually had time and we had a receiver open, the whole thing about preseason, about how he was inaccurate, and he said so himself, and he was like, it'll work itself out. I watched 7 passes go 5 yards over open guys' heads that were 7-yard passes. The guy can't throw to open people anymore. I don't know why, but it's happening. So he's either getting sacked or he's missing targets.
Kenny, you're right. He's broken. He's another broken toy here on the island of misfit toys. He's not good. He's not going to be good after you get to this point. I think as a quarterback and you're so gun shy and your confidence is shot. Again, I call it Mark Bulger syndrome, as we talked about last week. He's gone. I don't think he's ever going to be good.
He's broken
He'll have a flash here and there because he's an athletic guy.
How many years is he on contract with us for?
The rest of it.
Which is what? Shut up, Kenny.
Just this year or next year at the most.
Because what are you thinking about Sam Howell? Because he's got the size, and if he stays as a backup,
4 years, $128 million.
Oh God, that's so much money.
No. He signed that with the Colts or the Eagles. Yeah, with Philly, and then they traded. It should just be this year and next year. I think Max is right.
Pretty sure he was coming up on his final year. There may be an option.
Because don't sign the option. Let Sam Howell just sit in the back and just learn football, learn the NFL experience.
Well, he's going to have to watch the other team.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, these quarterbacks like Carson Wentz, I bet he's learning a lot from them. It's like don't
do
like,
that.
What are
Don't
my
do
dad
that.
used to say? It's like do what I say, not as I do.
It looks like he's signed through 2024. He's the ninth highest paid quarterback in the league at $32 million.
But it says we have an out in 2023 that would leave $0 in dead cap.
Is it when we put him behind a barn and just shoot him in the head?
I do advocate for that.
Did you see the stat that Cooper Rush made $54,000 last week and Carson Wentz made $2 million? I sent it in the group. It was something like that. Carson Wentz got paid $2 million and Cooper Rush got paid $54,000.
Good God.
Cooper Rush wins games and Carson Wentz ruins my life.
He's awful. He's not good. He's never going to be good again. Kenny, any last thoughts? I'll give you a few seconds here.
How much time do I have left on the clock?
15.
Okay, time it. With your hands? That was 10 seconds. All right. The Washington Commanders are breaking my heart week after week. There's not a lot of time left. Thank you for the extra 5. There's not a lot of time left until this just becomes a humorous season like it always does. I hate them. They're never going to be good this year. I want them and Carson Wentz to die. The end.
God bless you. Max, Heine lover, is it time for Heine?
I don't see why not. Let's give Wentz this week, because if Aaron is correct and they're not going to get a lot of pass rush home, he may be able to do something. They're going to have to bring in some protection on the offensive line if we continue to get rattled by injuries. You got to give him a little more time. If he looks awful in the first half, maybe throw Heine in for the second. And
he's mobile. If he's getting pass rushed, let's go.
To answer Noggin's question, I love Sam Howell. I really hope we see Sam Howell by the end of the year. Just to get some experience if we're not in playoff contention.
Noggin. Last thought.
Since last week's game, if my daughter actually naps on Sunday and goes to sleep at 1:30, 2 o'clock like she usually does, I'm turning the TV off and I'm taking a nap. I did that the first year she was alive because we had Josh Johnson. I was like, I'm not watching this crap. I'm going to get my sleep when I can. And I took a nap when she went down for the games, and I wake up and we'd be down 31-3.
And he has a Josh Johnson Redskins jersey.
I bet he does. But it's one of those things to where it's like, why am I going to stay up and watch this stuff when I can take a nap for like an hour while my toddler sleeps?
It's awful.
Like I'm not even cooking food anymore. Like cooking all the food and stuff was fun for week 1. I'm not wasting $100 every week to watch this crap, and it's horrible.
I totally get it.
When you're happy.
I told Eddie and Kenny, I said I have a family. Like there's so many more things I could be doing than suffering through watching this. Like if they keep this up, I'm just gonna watch the shortcut that takes an hour of my time. Like after the kids go to bed for the day. Like
YouTube highlights, 15 minutes.
There you go.
Just as much
Lord, that's what we're at. That's where we're at already. That's where we're at. Aaron, how you feeling? Get any last thoughts on this debut here on this wonderful
Did you
podcast?
rename me Jonathan Taylor?
You said Jonathan Taylor in a bottle, so you got a new name.
That's horrible. Trash.
You got to rub it the right way.
So I'll just say, first of all, if Bud Dupree does play, if his bum ass can stay healthy, then our pass rush is going to be good. He makes a difference being in there. He opens everything up for Jeffrey Simmons. So that's kind of our X factor right now. But with that being said, Mike Vrabel can go out at times and beat the best teams in the league with a backup roster. But he can also go out and lose to the worst team in the league every week. I don't know what it is, but he does that. So, there's hope.
Any given Sunday.
You don't know how little hope there is in Washington, D.C.
You don't know how painful it is after you've been so good to be so bad. Just in every aspect.
The four of us have as much hope as no one having hope ever. Because there's none. It's gone.
Yeah. Pretty much. Killed it. Dan
Done.
shot it, dropped it
It's
into
over.
some weird body of water. We'll never see it again. Here we are at the end of another episode. Hogging the mic.
By the way, change the name to Commanding the Mic.
No, not gonna do
I
that.
said it. No one wanted to do
Hey,
it.
no, actually,
gonna happen.
this week's episode is Noggin the Mic.
Yeah,
let's-
Noggin the
let's
Mic.
get that.
That's way too hard, and F that awful name. It's awful. It's awful.
What? So,
Awful.
Aaron, where can we find you in your podcast? Tits out.
Tits up.
Yeah.
Coming,
There you go.
coming soon.
Oh God. Anything else? That you got you got a biography coming out? Anything like that? You want to hype your Instagram handle?
I only got one thing to hype tonight. Atlanta Braves, National League East champions.
No one wants to talk about them Atlanta baseball team. Oh God.
That Mets won 40 games. So yeah, enjoy that.
You know what? At least the Tennessee Volunteers are going to beat LSU. They're going to beat Alabama, and they're going to beat Georgia this year.
Oh man, that's a true
Count
Tennessee fan with that confidence.
Count.
James, you got votes this week. How many votes did y'all get, Kenny?
39 and 30 respectively.
There you go.
Yeah, but
it
how
doesn't
many
matter.
flutes did Lizzo play? That's what I want to know.
One crystal flute.
Oh God.
Nick, this was a blast. All the crap, Kenny. I talked about this podcast all last year, even though I didn't watch it. This was fun.
You take it back, and you're going to come back one day. And you're going to tell all your friends about this.
You can call me anytime and go ahead and check your phone because they said with me on this makes it a better podcast. So
anything that takes the focus away from me.
That's exactly what my phone says. It's like he's telling Kenny to shut up.
Oh God.
Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining us, though.
Thank you both for joining. And here we are at the end of another episode of Hoggin the Mic with Kenny. Kenny won't wear team merchandise on this podcast, but he'll wear this.
They
ugly,
make me sad.
Is that a bootleg?
I
Is that a bootleg Georgia
team
shirt
merchandise?
And it's time for this. I'm your host, Eddie Medium Daddy Cool, saying goodbye for the nude quarterback, Noggin, healthy bum ass Aaron Modzelewski, the Heine lover, Maximum Bacon, saying, remember, no one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. See ya.
Somebody erase this team.